got a lot of no hair. And I've been watching this stuff and doing this stuff for 30 years, and I can tell you one thing. You can feel it. You can feel it because every one of the people in this room knows that when it's time to win an election, Wisconsin knows how to do it, and Wisconsin's going to deliver. You know, a couple of years ago, Mitt Romney asked me to chair Wisconsin for him, and I said, you know what, Governor, let me tell you why I'm going to do it. 2 reasons. Number one, you're going to make a great president. And number two, not only are you going to make a great president, but you're going to bring a whole generation of leaders along with you. That's what's important. Now look around. Look around at the landscape of this country and look at all the young Republican leaders, conservative leaders that we have that are ready to go to work for all of us. Think about this. You've got our own Paul Ryan. You've got our own Governor Scott Walker. You've got a person that we're going to visit with today who hasn't spent a lot of time in Wisconsin, but he is a shining star. He's brilliant. And he's a great man, and he's going to be a great leader for our country. We get Rubio today. We have what we need to win. And the last thing we need is you. We need all of you to do what you have to do to bring this victory to home this next week and a half. You have to go out and go door to door. You have to make the calls. We've got to bring every person we know an early vote. We've got to get it done. And let me introduce to you a person who's going to tell you how to get that done. Our state chair, my good friend, Brad Courtney.
Hey everybody, I have one question for all of you. Who wants to help me make Barack Obama a one-term president? Well, we can do that, and it starts right here in Waukesha County. For us to do well on November 6th, we need to run up the score here in Waukesha County and all the surrounding counties. And I think we can do it. But it's just real simple. Remember Scott Walker's race on June 5th? That race was actually tied 49% going into the last day. But you know what? It was the ground game of the conservatives, the Republicans, all our friends. We delivered a big victory for Scott Walker on June 5th. But what we need to do, we need to come to call centers like here in Waukesha, Germantown, Franklin. We have them all. We have 25 of them all over the state. You need to go to those call centers, make phone calls, take a walk book, and then please, right now we can start voting. I voted yesterday. Wasn't a long line. We all need to get our people to the polls early so we can do it. And also, if you live in the 1st Congressional District, you can vote twice.
That way.
You need to get involved. You need to tell all your friends, neighbors, and even your family this is a very important race. So please get to the call centers, and that will make a big difference. Now it's my extreme pleasure and honor to introduce to you the brother of the next Vice President of the United States, Tobin Ryan.
We've been thinking about you and your family, Neil. Was back here 2 weeks ago and had the honor of congratulating one of our great volunteers for making the 2 millionth voter contact at the time 2 weeks ago. That was 4 times ahead of the pace we were in 2008. We have the enthusiasm on our side. And you know it's working. Over the last week, we've seen Bill Clinton and Michelle Obama and Joe Biden coming into our state. You know that they're worried. And how much sweeter it's going to be when Wisconsin goes into the win column for Romney and Ryan. yet? All right, too many hands. My wife Oakley and I tomorrow are going to go vote in Janesville, and we've got 200 or 300 people going with us to vote. We need to get out there and vote now. That frees up resources, it sends a message, and you know what? It allows us then to get back to all the hard work of convincing others to get on the bandwagon and get out there and vote too. Please get out and vote right away. This has been quite a journey, particularly for our family, and I can't believe it's 2.5 months ago that Paul was chosen to be Mitt's running mate. And my wife reminds me that I had a lot darker hair back then. But we in Wisconsin, it was a proud day. When Paul walked out on the battleship, the USS Wisconsin, wasn't that a proud day? Found out afterwards that Paul wasn't the first family member to be on that ship. And our mom, Betty, who was watching that day like we all were on the television, saw her granddaughter Liza walk out on there, and it brought back a memory, rushing to my mom, who at the same age was given the opportunity to take a tour of that new battleship, the USS Wisconsin, when her father, a Navy man, got access and got to bring the family on. So I don't know if it was a premonition or not, but the power of seeing those generations come apart reminds us really why we're all so enthusiastic about this. And it's about those who have fought for our freedoms before us. It's about our kids who we're going to put in place a better country than the one that we inherited. And that's what this is all about. Even with a tear in my mom's eye and the solemnity of the moment, though, she still had to lean over and say, "Doesn't Paul look thin?" And it was also on that ship that Paul invoked the words of our dad. And my older siblings and I got to kind of close our eyes, and we could hear our dad talking, and we all heard it when he said, "Be part of the solution, not the problem." And that's who Paul is. That's who Mitt Romney is. He's a guy that is equipped with the skills, with the capability to turn this thing around, and Paul is as well. And that's what this is all about, and that's what we do in Wisconsin. We don't sit back and watch these issues consume our country. We get out there and we attack them and we fix them, and that's what a Romney-Ryan administration is going to do. 14 years ago, my wife, my then baby daughter Murray, and I, our mom, we put life on hold for 8 months, and we helped run Paul's very first campaign. It's what you do for a brother. When he doesn't have any resource, nobody knows who he is. That's what you do for a brother. And we thought about that today, and that is not the reason any of us are working this time around. We love our brother, and we're dutiful siblings. But this, again, it's about our kids. It's about my son, Mac, over here. He's not skipping school. It's parent-teacher conference. And Paul and Janet's kids, too, get to be on the trail with him the next couple of days because of that as well. But I'm still a dutiful brother. Mac and I and his sister Murray, we took Paul's 3 kids out to the local corn maze outside of Janesville. His son Charlie is quite a navigator, so we may have broken the record on getting through this maze. And we're so excited about the moment we get back to Paul's house, and sitting outside are still the pumpkins that he had bought that are ready to carve. And I thought, maybe as a good uncle, I'll sit down, we'll get the carving tools out, and we'll start doing that. And they're like, no, Dad does that. So I know my boundaries. And And we're all watching these polls, and they're looking better and better. They're looking great here in Wisconsin. I've got my own barometer, and it's Paul's voice. And I got to tell you, everywhere he is going, everywhere Mitt Romney is going, and these are 3 states a day, crowd after crowd, the enthusiasm, the response is absolutely deafening. Overflow crowds everywhere. This is no longer an election, it's a movement, and it's a chance to get our country back on track. Fight for our principles here in Wisconsin. Look what we did. We know what the ground game is all about. Look what we did with Scott Walker and Rebecca Kleefish. And we did it twice and got better results. Friends, let me introduce you to our Lieutenant Governor, Rebecca Kleefish.
Friends, Wisconsin understands how to lead the way. And you know what? It's not only Wisconsin who understands. How many of you are parents in this room? Oh gosh, most of you, sure. Okay, how many of you actually birthed the children in this room? All right, ladies, let me hear some noise for America. I'm so excited to be the one to tell you this morning that the gender gap is gone to men. We are behaving. Because that's the thing about women, friends. You know, we understand how to be the mothers, the daughters, the sisters, the wives. We are the carpool drivers, the consumer decision makers. We're the clothes picker outers. Ask the man standing next to you. We also in this country are the mess cleaner uppers, aren't we, ladies? And let me tell you, Barack Obama made a mess. Barack Obama has screwed up our economy, left 23 million Americans out of work, gas prices up, and we are fed up. That is why the gender gap is gone. Women are going to the polls and they are going to vote for Romney Ryan. Prices are up 15%. Gasoline prices are up 90%. Worst of all, friends, coffee prices are up 18%. Wisconsin, we can't take 4 more expensive years of Barack Obama. Let's turn him into a one-term president. June 5th. Let's lead the way for the rest of the country. Let's lead that hope and change resting exactly where it deserves, in Barack Obama's mind. But I'll tell you what, forward is our state motto. On November 6th, Wisconsin is taking forward back.